Well, hello all you wonderful people out there in YouTube land, and welcome to the Texas Special YouTube channel. For this final October 2025 O gauge or O scale product review, we take a look at this MTH Sclair 100-ton covered hopper. Now, I searched all over the internet for several days. I could not find a product number on this car, so I'm thinking this might have possibly been part of a multi-car pack or part of a train set. I don't know. I couldn't find anything on it. So, sorry y'all, no part number for this guy, or stock number for this guy. So this car is part of that rather large lot of secondhand equipment that was acquired by Mr. Ethan Tate last year, and regrettably no box. Box would have made my life a whole hell of a lot easier with trying to identify this car and giving you guys a product number and all that, but no such luck. These cars, specifically this Sclair paint scheme, is all over the place with model trains. You know, you got hopper cars in all scales. I've seen these things running around on, you know, like the prototype railroads like crazy. They're everywhere. So it's nice to finally be able to do a product review on one of these cars with one of these paint schemes. This is more of a cylindrical type hopper car than your flatter type, your normal covered hopper cars, but so we have some minor rubbing and paint transfer and some chipping here. The L on this NCLX is kind of rubbed off a little bit along the rib of the car, which simulates the welded panels of the car body, and you notice that throughout on the Sclair as well. Everywhere that there's a simulated welded seam, there's paint transfer, there's rubbing. So I'm not sure if that is a product of improper storage or that's how the car came. Given that this is an MTH product and it's not that old, I would like to hope that that is from improper storage on the part of the previous owner, but I can't say for 100% certain. The lettering on this car is otherwise very nicely done, very legible. There's nice clean separation between the reporting marks, car numbering, and all the lettering of the weight and capacity information on the car. You have all the appropriate declarations along the car, the 2-inch high friction composition shoe decal, do not run car with doors or hatches open. All the advisories are there, and you even have the ACF little building plate, I guess you could call it, right there. So all of the lettering, as I said, on this car is complete. It's accurate and very nicely done and legible without the use of a magnification device. We'll look at the B end. We'll focus on the B end of this car. And you can see, once my camera decides to cooperate, there we go. The trucks are the correct 100-ton roller bearing type trucks. You do have the correct number of springs, the 3 springs. The journal bearings, of course, the journal bearing caps, of course, are cast onto the die-cast metal truck side frames, so they do not rotate. And you can see there the operating magnetic knuckle coupler. The ladders and everything on the car are nicely done. The car body as a whole is plastic, ABS plastic. If we rotate the car and take a look at the B end, you will see a separately applied metal handbrake wheel. You can see the chain, the little disc for the operating magnetic coupler. You have these cast on grab irons on both, all the way around. This is all one solid piece, one solid casting. You got a crossover platform here. You do have a emergency and service reservoir with the appropriate piping, as well as a triple valve, and right here is the air brake cylinder. If we look at the underside of this thing, you'll notice that there's not really a whole lot going on underneath the car. You get a good shot of the truck mounted knuckle couplers, which I'm assuming that these things had a problem with popping open. It's an unfortunate reality with O-scale trains, but every now and again you get couplers that for whatever reason there's a deformity in the pin, or it's just weak, especially with MPC era trains that have plastic locking pins on the couplers. They'll flex, or vibration of in-train forces will just pop the couplers open. So it appears this car was one of those that had a problem with the couplers popping open, and the knuckles have been glued shut at some point, which it's a permanent fix, but it's really the only good fix for a car like that with O-scale trains. You can see I have these separately applied unloading hatches here on the bottom of the car. There's not really any underframe details to speak of. You can see the MTH electric trains very nicely there. Looking at the top side of this hopper car, you see a nice solid one-piece walkway around the perimeter of the roof of the car. It does have the correct grate type pattern on it, but again, it's not separate. It's separately applied to the roof, but it's all one piece. It's one solid plastic casting. It's not a see-through grate. You have these little hatches here, which do not open. I couldn't remember if they opened or not. And you have grab irons cast on to the corners of the walkway at the locations that correspond with the full height ladders on the ends of the car. Unfortunately, one of the stirrup steps on this car, which you can see right there, is broken off. Otherwise, all the other three stirrup steps are still in place. This car is rated for, what radius is this car rated for? I can't remember. These cars will handle 027 curvature. They don't really look that great doing it, but they can do it. So if you have a small railroad with tight curvature, you're not stuck out. Again, they're not going to look right doing it, but they can do it. So 027 is the minimum for these guys. I have the Williams SD40, the Southern Pacific SD40 on the track, and I've got a test train put together here on the South Texas Railroad. So let's fire it up and send this guy around the rail.